Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IS Academy. As you can see on the screen, the title of our video is Mobye under Siege, Lashio in Chaos. These two regions are in Myanmar. So, who will win? Military junta or resistant group? Ji haan. In the heart of Myanmar, a fierce and unrelenting battle rages on. Not only between the military forces and resistance group, but for the very future of nation. And picture a town, Mobye, which is nestled in the southern Shan State. Ji haan, as you can see headlines in the newspaper, Myanmar Junta attacks resistant Shan Stronghold. Then उसी के बाद न्यूज आती है lawlessness talks. Then northern Shan capital after Myanmar Junta's return. ये दोनों ही न्यूज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. Clear? So this region, Mobye, which is nestled in southern Shan State, where airstrike on artillery shells have become part of daily life. Ji haan. And on one side, the Myanmar military junta seeks to reclaim the lost ground, while on the other, a condition and a coalition of resistant groups, they stand firm, determined to defend their home at all cost. But this is not an isolated skirmish. This is no isolated skirmish. It is a reflection of a broader conflict that is shaking the foundations of Myanmar political landscape. Ji haan. And in this parallel crisis, something more going on that is in northern Shan State. Ji haan. So let me show you northern Shan State, and here the most important city or town is Lashio. This is southern Shan State, Mobye here. So at the or you can say in a parallel crisis in northern Shan State capital, that is Lashio, has descended into chaos. It is a city where lawlessness reigns. It is a city where essential services have disappeared. So what is exactly happening? What happens when a government loses control? When a power vacuum is created? The answers are unfolding before our eyes. And they will not only impact Myanmar, but have ripple effects across the region and the world. So join me as we dive into the escalating tensions in Myanmar, unpacking the layers of violence, geopolitics, and human suffering that shape this ongoing conflict. Will peace ever return? Or is Myanmar on the brink of something far more dangerous? See, the conflict in Myanmar is intensifying with fierce battle raging in Mobye and Lashio region. These are two pivotal locations that could change the course of the country's future. So in this video, we break down the explosive situation, that is from ongoing siege of Mobye, where Myanmar military attempts to reclaim territory from resistance, okay, that is resistance forces, to the lawlessness of overtaking Lashio after the MNDA sudden retreat. Now, what happens when a government loses its control of its own cities? How are the people caught in the middle surviving this storm of violence, airstrikes, and chaos? So in this session, we will be discussing each and every conflict here. So first of all, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more in-depth analysis of global conflicts and political struggles. Now, सबसे पहले हम बात करेंगे Mobye town attack की. जी हाँ, first we are going to discuss about the Mobye town attack. So let's try to understand about the Mobye town attack. So the location of Mobye town attack is Mobye is in southern Shan State of Myanmar. Now, Mobye is in southern Shan State of Myanmar. So first try to understand that what is the issue here, and when this fight was started. So Mobye is a town in southern Shan State, as you can see here in this map. Okay, these are southern Shan states. Clear? Now, fighting started on April 28, 2025. कब फाइटिंग शुरू हुई है? 28 अप्रैल को, 28th April 2025. Now, the fight was started between whom? Who are the parties? The Myanmar military junta, that is the government forces, has been attacking Mobye, which is held by the resistance fighters. It is held by the resistance fighters. Now, who are those resistance groups? Mainly Karenni Nationality Defense Forces, KNDF जिनको कहा जाता है, Karenni Nationality Defense Forces, KNDF. So as you can see here, so these are the defense forces. Getting my point? And their allies in the southern Shan state, and their allies are PDF, that is People's Defense Force. जी हाँ, PDF, as you can see here, People's Defense Force. Now, अगर हम casualties की बात करें, on 28th April 2025, one resistance fighter and one civilian were killed. Then on 29th April, that is on Monday, the military attacked again with 300 troops, and they are shelling Mobye and carrying out the air strikes. Several houses are destroyed. बहुत सारे घर जो हैं destroy कर दिए गए. Clear? Resistance loses. Now 3 fighters were injured. Regime loses. About 15 regime troops were killed. 15 regime troops were killed or wounded. So overall, the military junta took control the entrances to the town, but the fighting is expected to continue. Fighting कहा जा रहा है कि अभी भी कंटिन्यू रहेगी, वॉर कंटिन्यू रहेगा. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस, लाशियो में कैसी सिचुएशन है? अगर हम लाशियो की बात करें, as you can see here, लाशियो, northern Shan state, है ना, the capital city of northern Shan state. The situation is worsened after 21st April 2025. In Lashio, the situation got worsened after 21st April 2025. Now, what is the background? The Myanmar National Democratic Alliance Army. This is the symbol of Myanmar National Democratic Alliance Army, which looks like Chinese flag. है ना? It is a resistance group. It is a resistance group which had controlled the Lashio, but withdrew under the pressure from China. इन्होंने withdrew कर लिया था because of Chinese pressure. Now Chinese pressure क्या? On 21st April 2025, this MNDAA retreated from the city and the Myanmar military took over. Now what is the current situation then? After MNDAA left the Lashio region, the regime forces have not been able to restore the stable order. They are now holded up in Lashio University. अब ये जो गवर्नमेंट फोर्सेस हैं, ये कहां पर हैं? इन्होंने अपना सेंटर बनाया हुआ है Lashio University, which they have turned into a fortress. They have turned this Lashio University into a fortress. अब कहा जा रहा है कि इस रीजन में लॉलेसनेस है. कैसे? There have been robberies हो रही हैं, thefts हो रहे हैं. People are scared to go out, especially in the back street. At least 5 robberies have been reported. Getting my point? Apart from this, health services की अगर हम बात करें, the MNDAA left and there are no health care services. First of all, there are no health care services. Now, if there are no healthcare services, now since the regime has not provided any local clinics and local clinics refuse to treat the crime related injuries also, in this situation, the order, or you can say stability, is not restored in this Lashio region. Apart from this, as you can see here, municipal garbage has not been collected. Some areas have no electricity and the only places with electricity they are KTV paid parlors, and people must pay extra to charge their phones also, even power banks उन्हें extra pay करना पड़ रहा है. Apart from this, there are other issues. They are now both Junta and MNDAA checkpoints. There अब यहाँ लाशियों में दो चेक पॉइंट्स है, एक है मिलिट्री हुंता का, दूसरा है MNDAA चेक पॉइंट्स इन द सिटी, which created the confusion and tension among the public. तो ओवरऑल अगर हम इसको देखें, मोबी इज अंडर हेवी अटैक बाय द मिलिट्री हुंता, है ना, with the significant casualties on both the sides. On the other hand, when you see Lashio has descended into the chaos after the MNDAA withdrew, and the regime forces are struggling to restore the order. So that is why lawlessness, lack of healthcare, basic services have been struggling there, and they have made the life difficult for the residents of Lashio. Now, these ongoing events in Mobye and Lashio could have several significant impacts also. अब क्या क्या impact हो सकते हैं? It can increase the civilian suffering. Now it can increase the civilian suffering. Now how it can increase the civilian suffering? So let me tell you that Mobye region में they are continued fighting, air strikes, artillery shelling and these things will likely cause more civilian casualties, more displacement, destruction of homes, infrastructure, etc. As the town is under attack, civilians caught in the crossfire, which may face severe risks, which leads to the potential humanitarian crisis. Apart from this, लाशियो की अगर हम बात करें, लाशियो में क्या है? लॉलेसनेस, लैक ऑफ बेसिक नेसेसिटीज, बेसिक सर्विसेज, है ना, ना हेल्थ की सर्विस है, ना इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है. दैट कैन फर्दर इंक्रीज दी सिविलियन सफरिंग्स, एंड vulnerable groups like elderly people, children, sick people, they are especially at risk due to inadequate healthcare and increasing violence. Apart from this, escalation of armed conflict. Escalation of armed conflict. कैसे? अब समझिएगा. The continued clashes in Mobye regions are likely to escalate as both the sides prepare for more fighting, and this could lead to the prolonged instability in the southern Shan State, है ना, and that has drawn more resistant groups and creating a broader military conflict. इसी के साथ ही साथ लाशियो में सिचुएशन अगर हम देखें, so the situation in Lashio with competing junta and MNDAA forces, it could further destabilize the northern Shan State, and the potential for sporadic violence clashes. Apart from this, civilian unrest can also spread across the region. Now, another important thing, because of these conflicts, it can increase the displacement. जी हाँ, इससे अब displacement भी काफी ज्यादा हो जाएगा, human displacement. Then humanitarian aid challenges are also there because of lack of healthcare practices, है ना, lack of healthcare services, है ना, with private clinics refusing to treat the injuries which are caused by the criminal activity, or essential medical services will be out of reach for many residents, है ना. And in Mobye region, ongoing conflict will also prevent the humanitarian aid from reaching the town, and already worsening the dire conditions are there for those who are stuck in the conflict zone. तो अब इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को बहुत सारे बैरियर्स फेस करने पड़ेंगे कि किस तरीके से असिस्टेंस प्रोवाइड की जाए इस एक्टिव कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जोन. समझ में आ रहा है? तो ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा इश्यू है इस रीजन के लिए. Apart from this, you can see that there can be military polarization also. अब देखो चाइना का भी इन्फ्लुएंस है म्यांमार में. कैसे? The pressure China exerted on MNDAA to retreat from Lashio, it could further damage the relations between the Myanmar military junta as well as the resistance group, है ना? Apart from this, चाइना का जो रोल है वो काफी ज्यादा बढ़ता हुआ नजर आ रहा है. China's increasing role in mediating the ceasefire or influencing military dynamics in Myanmar region, it might push the resistance groups, है ना, into more kind of defiant positions, है ना. Then apart from this, regional instability, because of these civil wars, it has created the regional instability. इसी के साथ ही साथ economic impacts are also there. Now लाशियो में क्या हो गया? इकोनॉमिक डिस्क्रप्शन ड्यू टू इनस्टेबिलिटी, लैक ऑफ सर्विसेज, lawlessness. It could hurt the local economy. Businesses may shut down. Trade could be hindered due to the security concerns. समझ में आ रहा है? तो अब एक चीज समझिए, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मोयबाई रीजन है जहां पर ऑनगोइंग फाइटिंग है ना. In Mobye region, ongoing fighting will impede any economic recovery or development, especially in the aftermath of destruction from bombings and shelling. Then weakening of Myanmar's junta's control. अब इतने ज्यादा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है, ये शो कर रहा है कि म्यांमार junta का कंट्रोल कमजोर दिख रहा है. कैसे? Junta's inability to maintain the order in Lashio and control Mobye could demonstrate the weakness in their military as well as administrative capabilities, and it may encourage further the resistance movement across the Myanmar that weaken that military junta is already weakened. So this will have internal impacts also as well as external impact also. इससे resistance और ज्यादा बढ़ जाएगी, है ना. तो ये कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें हैं that we need to understand. Apart from this, इंटरनेशनल रिएक्शंस क्या हमें देखने को मिल सकते हैं? अगर हम चाइना की बात करें, सो कंट्रीज लाइक चाइना, दे मे इंक्रीज देयर इन्वॉल्वमेंट टू मीडिएट द प्रोसेस और मीडिएट द पीस और मेंटेन देयर इन्फ्लुएंस, बट एट द सेम टाइम दे आल्सो फेस क्रिटिसिज्म फॉर साइडिंग विद द रिजीम. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस, यूनाइटेड नेशंस की अगर हम बात करें, यूएन एंड अदर इंटरनेशनल एक्टर्स, it could impose stronger sanctions, it can increase humanitarian aid or potentially intervene in the peace efforts, though this could lead to further diplomatic tensions as well as complications in addressing the Myanmar border crisis. समझ में आ रहा है? तो ओवरऑल एक चीज याद रखिए कि म्यांमार में जो सिचुएशन है वो सिविल वॉर की सिचुएशन है, एंड as the struggle for power in Myanmar continues to unfold, the battle for Mobye and Lashio, it serves as a microcosm of the country's larger war, but one that threatens to spiral out of control, which affecting not just the people of Myanmar but the entire Southeast Asian region. So the resilience of resistance groups, the failure of the junta to restore order, the international dynamics at play, which creates a volatile mix that could redefine the course of history here. So with each passing day, the stakes rise higher and the world watches in uncertainty. Will Myanmar people be able to reclaim their future from the chaos, or are we witnessing the beginning of a larger regional instability? So the answer lies in the coming days as the battle for control continues to unfold. So this is more than just a conflict. It is a critical turning point that will impact the future of democracy, that will impact the future of human rights, regional security, etc. So this is the issue of Myanmar. So stay tuned for more videos, because the world is watching and the next chapter is about to be written. Thank you so much.